Fantastic. Um, well, yes, so like I said, my name is Maya, and I am joined here today by my colleague Brianna Norgard, our marketing team lead here at WorkBC Center, West Shore, and Souk. And today we're facilitating this session in collaboration with WorkLink Employment Society. So we have Henrik Peterson, the START program facilitator from WorkLink here today. From Thrive's RiseUp Youth Employment Program, we welcome Marco Shasha, Youth Employment Program Manager. From the Construction Foundation of BC, we have Daria Lysenko here today, Community Catalyst. And from Camosun College, we're welcoming Kyle today, the Program Development Coordinator. And that is for the School of Trades, Industry, and Professional Studies at Camosun. To begin our session today, we just like to start with a territory acknowledgement. WorkBC Center, West Shore and Souk recognizes the traditional territories of the Esquimalt, Songhees, Tasauk, Sianu, and Pacheedaht First Nations on which our offices are located. And we are very proud to provide employment-related services to these nations. Just a brief look at our agenda today. So we're going to kick off our presentations today with the Construction Foundation of BC with Daria. We will go to the START program, followed by RiseUp, and lastly, Camosun before we open the floor for open Q&A at the end. That being said, please feel free you can raise your hands, you can come off mute and ask questions as we go through the session, or if you'd like some time to think about it, we will have that question and answer period at the end of our session today. Without further ado, I will now pass it over to Daria to get us started from Construction Foundation BC.
Thank you so much, Maya. My presentation is loading, and I have 10 minutes to deliver a lot and to tell about our amazing programs. So let's dive in. So Construction Foundation of BC, first of all, we are a registered charity established in 2012, as you see, and we have currently so many programs that when I started thinking what should I talk about today, so I'll choose only several that completely focus on people who identify themselves as a youth, belong to the age from 15 to 30, and sometimes up. So over the past 13 years, our small team delivered multiple programs, and one of these programs is WAT. So for those who are interested in construction, in trades specifically, so WAT is a wonderful program that can prepare you to become an apprentice. So this program provides you with necessary tools and kind of like a certification to be able to successfully start working as an electrician apprentice. So this program also includes a 2.5-week part-time online safety in industry readiness module. Pretty handy. So we currently offer these opportunities you see to get certification as first aid level, fall protection, mobile elevator walk platform, site ready BC, and many, many more. So what you can expect developing skills, electrical work, you can expect certification, you can receive also basic tools and the boots that required to start your career as electrician, and additional support. So currently the program is operated on Vancouver Island as well. So if you live in Victoria, we know that the Shore Center is actually in Lanford, so you will be able to apply for this program. Minimum standard is 17-year-old. So we cannot, unfortunately, accept anyone below this age, just because this program aims to get you employed after you finish this. So not many employers want to hire people under 17-year-old. So that's why it's one of the requirements. And additional specifics for this program is your immigration status. So this program is open for Canadian citizens and permanent residents, and I would say also conventional refugees. So if you belong to any of these categories of people, please go ahead and apply. So how to do this? I see the question from Anna. Yes, please go ahead.
Hello. Just a quick question here. I know that I have a family member on the same Teams chat right now, and they currently have their learners.
So I'm just saying if that, I see that you need a class 5, so just kind of like they just got their learners, so would they still be able to apply for this?
That's a great question. Thank you for this, Anna. Actually, you still can apply. So currently, as far as I know, the program managers try to accept people who use, who are women, who define themselves as rationalized people. But I also been told that anyone who is interested need to apply. So there is a pre-assessment for this program. So they will see if you're skillful, if you can do some basic stuff to make sure that there is something to work with. And it should be some communication skills as well. So I know for newcomers and immigrants, it might be additional barrier, but try. So what you can do is just try. And it is free program, so you don't need to pay to be able to participate. It's a good one. So I hope I answered your question. Okay, sure, nice. So what is for people who want to become an electrician in their future and build career there? We also have Reframe program. Reframe, it is also, I would say, a new program to construction foundation of BC. So this program will introduce you to carpentry. So for those people who experiencing some barriers to success, there might be different barriers to success. That might be some learning difficulties. There might be some people who are in recovery. There might be people who are struggling in another different ways. So this program will provide access and opportunities to get through carpentry. This program also will provide paid participation. As you see here, lots of training to help people gain these hands-on skills in carpentry. And once you finish this, my colleagues will be happy to help you to find an employer. So again, the nice outcome that you can receive here is actually to get a real job opportunity. So people who successfully complete the program typically will be able to continue their journey as a carpenter apprentice or carpenter helper in their workplace. So as for eligibilities, so we start from 16-year-old participants. They also need to self-identify themselves as someone who has barriers to employment, to be reside in Greater Victoria area. Again, West Shore, Lanford, Goldwood, Sook are welcome. And again, we have some immigration status criteria here. So people need to be either Canadian citizens or permanent residents or conventional refugees who are able legally work in Canada. So if you want to know more about this, check Reframes, FEBC, or just follow the link. I hope that the presentation will be available after. If no, just come and check our website. Another program. As I mentioned, we have many of them. So another program is Welcome Exchange, and this is completely program open for immigrants and newcomers who reside and settle in Victoria and on Vancouver Island or in the Thompson-Okanagan region. So I would say everyone is welcome. Specifically, we offer many different services here, so you can participate in our free Indigenous culture sharing workshops, learning new skills, and building community connections with other participants, immigrants and newcomers, and Indigenous communities as well. We also offer free employment support for those who are interested in building career in skilled trades and construction industry. We provided support and offer free job fairs, networking events, and so on. We also try to help people understand what the skilled trades are and gain new skills through our trade exploration workshops. So we are planning to do such workshops in December, actually December 3rd and 4th, going to be in Victoria, copper bracelet workshops. So if anyone interested to attend, you can check our website. You will find there more information. And we also provide informational and personalized career support, answering many different questions, regardless if you're interested to find out more about financial system or the tax, how to file your tax, how to find a house or your rights as a tenant, and so on. So this program is for newcomers and immigrants. And new way to support people here is a foreign credential recognition. So if any one of you interested to get certified as a Red Seal carpenter, electrician, and so on, so we're here for you. We also provide for newcomers free language support focused on trade-specific language. So you're working here with a self-teacher who actually guide you through the process. So it's pretty handy and nice programs available. And just to finish the presentation, I would like to also talk about available grants that you can get through Construction Foundation OBC. So we have multiple grants available currently. You will find more information even about additional grants on our website. Here you can check what I on our slides. So some of them available for people who are interested in exploring careers as an electrician. So actually Western Chat Leadership Award, Jack Funk Scholarship, Mod Electric Scholarship, that's all three funds that aim to support people who are entering the electrical work. So if you are sign up an apprentice or you want to get some support here and go and study, so check it out, pretty handy. There is different options you can find. We also offer Tech for Tradies. This is a new program. Actually, it was launched just this year and provide you free with free laptop if you again are going through your studies and apprentice. So more information, check our website and more. So for those who self-identify themselves as indigenous or belong to these categories of people, there is a Timberwolf Legacy Fund, there is Vika Training Fund, bursaries, and many more. For each of these programs, there is specific deadline that you need to apply in specific criteria. Because we have limited time, I really encourage everyone who is interested to find out more about this, go and check each of these programs and grants. And if you have any questions, so feel free to reach out and ask questions. I'm pretty open to conversation online, via email, on call, so many different options. And if you have any questions right now, again, please, you're welcome to ask. Yeah, I see, Anna, you're interested.
Hey there. So I used to work as a project coordinator in the construction industry, and I've been having a lot of barriers with getting another job in the construction or in anything really at the moment for project coordination, because where I was, I don't think I gathered enough skills at the company that I was at. So just trying to see if do you guys have any help for not only trades but other like the office support staff for construction?
It might be. I cannot guarantee you that we will find you a job. Sometimes it's possible to provide some guidance. If you're interested in explore this, so my colleagues or even I, depending on your situation, we can review your CV and see who is hiring similar people with similar experiences currently, or just again to connect you with resources. For example, with CCA, they have wonderful programs as building builders. So it's something that might help you. So they provided mentorship opportunities for people in construction and skilled trades. Again, it's a good, not to start, but it's a good point to go from. So
Okay.
please feel free to check and connect with me or my colleagues as well.
Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure.
Just to jump in as well, Anna, and I can speak more about this at the end, but also local Work BC centers as well are a great resource in terms of being able to look at your existing skill set and being able to tailor your CV to new applications. There's also a provincial job board for looking for those kinds of roles as well. So while that's not one of the key like youth focused topics of today, I'd be happy to speak with you about that at the end as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. And for sure, check if you're existing client with WorkBC, come and check with them as well. Because I know from my own experience, so they are amazing. And
Thank
they
you
have
so much.
many amazing resources as well, like wage subsidy.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Daria. That's fantastic. And just to note as well, we will be sending out a follow-up email in the next few days with the contact information for our presenters today. So if you do have any follow-up questions as well. Awesome. Thank you so much, Daria. Well, without further ado, I will share my screen and we can hand it over to Henrik from the START program. Second here.
I'll wait till the screen shared.
Awesome. All right. Can everyone see my screen? Oh, not the right one. Hold on. I've said this in almost every meeting. I love tabs, and it shows. Okay, here we are. Awesome. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here today. My name is Henrik Peterson. I'm the START program facilitator at WorkLink Employment Society. START stands for Skills, Training, and Readiness for Tomorrow. And it's a program. It's a program that's basically designed, to improve the youth's employability skills. So I'll get into the structure here a little bit on this slide here. The program is 6 weeks long, and it's 30 hours per week. While the participants are there, they get paid $17.85. And the program goes through a variety of different sort of facets, which I'll get into in a moment. But in order to be eligible for the program, you do have to meet that sort of criteria of youth, so 15 to 30, not be attached to school, or be working full-time. You also have to be a citizen or a permanent resident. There are some exceptions if you are part of, like, say, an alternative school program. That we can allow you into the program. But typically, if you're attached to a conventional school, unfortunately not eligible. So it's delivered in person for 6 weeks, and we have a location here in Souk, which is where I am right now, and then also in Langford. Predominantly, mostly in Langford, but we do offer a yearly sort of cohort in Souk. And some of the components that we get into within the program are our skills and training workshops. So that includes, building a resume, writing a resume. So we'll have a whole workshop on, this is what you need to include on your resume, how to turn, your prior experience into, highlighting your soft skills and your hard skills and really emphasizing your experience. A lot of people come in maybe with limited experience, and we're really trying to kind of help them, put the words down and show employers that they actually do have experience and skills. We have a whole component on writing cover letters, and then also interview skills. And so when we do the interview skills, often we can even bring in, we've in the past brought in like our human resources manager who's done mock interviews, who has a wealth of experience to give, real-time feedback. And it's something that we kind of revisit throughout the program. So it's not sort of just like a one and done. It's something that we build on over the 6 weeks. And in order to help them, really develop those resumes, cover letters, interview skills, there's a big emphasis on, diving into their personality through, like, say, Myers-Briggs examinations and trying to find out, okay, what job do I want to apply to? What sort of suits my skills and my personality? Determining personal values and sort of thinking about that longer term career trajectory. And so there's a lot of sort of, I would say, like self-reflection, trying to kind of understand oneself so they can make decisions that sort of align with who they are, and build confidence to kind of help them, pick a career path that suits them. So that's sort of one part is our training skills workshops. Another aspect that we do is we get them certified in industry-specific certifications. So lately, we've been doing more customer service-based certifications. So that includes things like food safe, first aid, dog safe, serving a rights, selling a rights, superhost. But if we had a cohort that was specific more, say, to trades, then we could also offer trade-specific certifications as well. And that's to help them, get the certifications, get their foot in the door, show employers that they are ready to work, they have the certifications, they have the training, and it's one sort of a tool on their tool belt, I guess. Another big component of the program is I would call sort of life skills, and it's things around, say, goal setting, developing, positive habits, time management. We even dive into things like sleep hygiene, nutrition, cooking. We have a whole day where we cook for the entire office and have a big sort of community lunch with everybody, and sort of to help build those sort of skills that maybe are sort of taken for granted and not all honestly explicitly learned, but maybe are missing for some of the youth today. And then another massive barrier to employment that's been reported to us is sort of mental health and resilience. So there's a large component about mental health. And so we have a whole mental health workshop where we have registered clinical counselors come in, offer like a mental health workshop, share tools and strategies, how to deal with certain issues, how to come up with tools and strategies to kind of support themselves. There's a big emphasis on, developing like a growth mindset. We do a lot of mindfulness, talking about the benefits of mindfulness. Like I mentioned before, developing those sort of routines and positive habits. And then I've also weaved in, I'm a big believer of movement. So anytime I can, I'll try and facilitate a portion of the workshop. Maybe we can go outside and we bring our journals and have like maybe a 30-minute sort of sliver of time while we're working outside. And I think that sort of just really is connected to that sort of mental health and resilience piece there. And then also we have employers come in. So we've had employers such as like Starbucks or BC Ferries or the Grand Pacific Hotel, even RCMP has come in, and they sort of share their hiring process, their onboarding process, what they look for to stand out in a resume. And then they even share like personal anecdotes that, I think those are some of like the gold nuggets, if you will, that give the youth a lot of advice on how to sort of navigate their career trajectory. And then they can also offer as like these guests, they come in, they're part of like a network that these youth are building. So they're building a network within the cohort itself, but then also with these employers, and they get their contact. And let's say it's BC Ferries, then they have a contact for the human resources at BC Ferries, and that can be a great in to help them, start their career. We also can offer a lot of financial assistance as well. So I mentioned counselors who come in, but we can also offer, say, for example, like counseling sessions. There's even transportation sort of funds that we can access if they need a bus pass, for example, they get to their job. And even things like getting a clothing sort of wardrobe for their interview. So the final week, we'll take everybody out, we'll get them a wardrobe so they're looking nice and sharp to get an interview. And so we have lots of financial assistance to also support the youth. So that's sort of the program in a nutshell. But after the program, there's also an opportunity for a work experience, sort of practicum, if you will. And it runs for 8 weeks. And if we can line up with the right employer, through the federal government, we can offer a wage subsidy, which covers their wage up to $9.40 an hour. And it's one of those things that just kind of help employers, take on a participant, mentor them, help them get a bit of experience, and it's sort of a win-win situation. So in the past, we've had local employers such as like Cafe Pizzino take on people, and even organizations such as like the West Shore Chamber of Commerce take on some participants. So it's a really meaningful thing, and we're always looking to build relationships with employers to make that a meaningful transition for the youth. Sorry, just flipping my page here. Do you mind switching the slide there, Maya? And so far, this program has had a massive impact. So it started in 2015, and it's supported hundreds of youth through the program. Even just from 2020 to 2025, there's been, as you can see on the screen, there are 170 youth that have come through. We've done 14 cohorts in the last 4 years, and we have an additional 10 on our current contract. So lots of youth to help out and through this program. And I even just want to share a personal anecdote from a participant that, I got to meet through this program. And, she came in every day. We do like a check-in, and she was one of those people who kind of started off with, I'd say, quite low confidence, maybe wasn't sure of what she wanted to do. But through the program, she made some really good friends. She built a lot of confidence, and she ended up getting a job at, say, a pet store. But she was also working on like photography. And so she has like a side gig now where she does photography. She's also working on like getting a yoga instructor certification. And then she's also come and done public speaking events at the West Shore Chamber of Commerce. And so for me, that was just like such a personal win, because you get to see this person who started off with really low confidence, and then after the program, that not only did they get a job, but they have all these like side gigs and hustles going on, and are doing public speaking, and it was really empowering to see. And so I think it's a great program, and I do think it really helps build confidence and fosters connection, and it's very like all encompassing. So I believe on the next slide, we have actually a promotional little video that one of our participants made. And so I'll just share that with you, and then I can kind of close out from there. Oh my, I think you're muted.
Oh, let's do that again. Hold on. Can we hear?
First day, I was very unsure, I'd say, but
We can. Sorry, you're muted, Henrik.
Sorry, yeah, yep, I could hear it.
Second time. Okay. Sorry.
first day, I was very unsure, I'd say, but honestly, now I'm like quite sad it's over. Like it went by so quickly.
My first impression of coming here was I was a bit scared, but then once I got here and I met everybody, everything was okay. And now that I know everybody, I'm very glad that I came here and I've met people and I've made new friends.
Most memorable moment I had at this program would definitely be when we cooked with Fernanda. It was a lot of fun, and I never made banana bread, really, like it independently as I did.
I remember, I think it was in our first week, and we went on a walk and did like the number game where everyone had to shout a number.
These are genuine life skills that'll help you for your entire life.
Advice for future participants of the program is just be open-minded and just be like kind and friendly.
Really listen, write stuff down. You'll learn a lot. Like I feel like I gained so much knowledge and experience throughout this course that is going to really help me in the future.
That's the lesson I learned from the START program was, one, to not give up, and two, to have integrity, right, with what you're doing. No matter what you're doing in your life, to have confidence within it and give it your all, and not give up. Because you really don't know how quickly things can unfold in front of you, and then you realize you're already where you want to be.
Yeah, so I just thought it was cool little snapshot that we didn't ask the participant to make that. They just decided to make that and sent it to us after, and we're like, oh wow, can we have this video? And so yeah, on the screen you can see a QR code that takes us to our website. So if you know anybody who wants to apply, we are currently taking in applications. We've got an upcoming cohort in January 5th in Souk and Langford. And many more cohorts after that as well. And then also, if you know, like if you're an employer or know somebody who's also looking for potential, staff, there's also an application on there to build that relationship with WorkLink Employment Society as well. So thanks for your time, and yeah, I'll pass it on to the next presenter.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Henrik. Fantastic presentation. And now I'll pass it over to you, Marco.
Okay, let me just share my screen here. Share.
Perfect.
Okay, no. Okay, can everybody see that okay? Yeah, okay. So my name is Marco Shasha, and I am the program manager of RiseUp Youth Employment Program. We are a program based out of the CRD, so the South Vancouver Island area, as part of Thrive Social Services. So a little bit about us and about the program. The setup of RiseUp is as a one-to-one employment services program. So you are matched with your own kind of vocational counselor who is there with you every step of the way, which we find really valuable because it allows the whole sort of path and journey to be very, very personalized and very based around, your comfort level. And I think having somebody in your corner who you really get to know and build rapport and trust with is super important. So we are an outreach-based community service, meaning we can kind of come and meet you where you are in the community. We have offices, we have places where we like to have meetings sometimes, but a lot of the work can occur, kind of out sort of in the community, talking to these different business owners, really, on the kind of ground floor, finding out what business opportunities are out there, or just other kind of community locations, near you. And so we help youth find and maintain fulfilling work and build the necessary experience and skills and sort of toolkit that helps you get there. Like, we talk about these resumes, like these cover letters, things like that, but then also kind of the skills that are going to be really important on the job as well. Some of the soft skills, some of the things that maybe we don't think about as much, like, okay, I know how to do the tasks of a particular job, but how do I function in a workplace, right? How do I kind of deal with the different things that come up? How do I understand my wage slip? How do I understand this tax slip? All of these kind of things. And we're, our service is completely free. Thank you to some of our different community funders. In terms of eligibility, so our bracket of youth is 15 to 25. There's no need to have any kind of specific diagnosis. Really, all we're looking for is that you consider yourself as having some sort of barrier to employment, whatever that might be, and we'll talk about what some of those can be in a second here. But as well, the idea being that you see yourself as being able to work independently once the program is completed, and because this is a one-to-one program, that the sort of duration and the intensity of the program can look very different for different people, and we're certainly there to help you every step of the way in whatever way that you need, and kind of go based on your word in terms of, okay, I feel comfortable taking it over here, or I think I still need some support, some shadowing, some training, whatever it may be. Full-time students are welcome. We just ask that, generally our vocational counselors kind of work a varied schedule from 8 to 5 days a week. So just, that you have a little bit of time somewhere along there that you would be able to meet with them maybe on a weekly basis. So talking about some of those barriers to employment, and, we'll talk about some here, but there are others that you might have dealt with that aren't on here, and yeah, those are totally part of the picture as well. But things like little experience, or not having a lot of work-related skills, learning diverse ability, physical diverse ability, developmental diverse abilities, maybe feelings of isolation, little or no community engagement. And honestly, that's something that we're really beginning to center more and more in the program, as community integration is such a vital part of employment, right? Feeling like you're a part of the community that you're in, feeling like you have natural supports, feeling really connected to the businesses and the organizations around you, right? We're all aware how things have kind of shifted over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And so it's something we really try and keep up with, even just in, how we help individuals with the hiring process, right? Recognizing that, a lot of this has changed with the advent of different technologies and things like that. And so making sure that we are up to date with how best to kind of to prepare ourselves for this, so that, so are you and so are the youth. Other barriers might include, something that's been mentioned already today, mental health concerns, experiences of trauma in the past, identifying as part of the LGBTQ community, in foster care or transitioning out of care, potentially experiencing homelessness, maybe like a lack of access to education or literacy learning. So there's really so many different things that we can feel like act as barriers to our finding employment, and anything that feels like it fills that kind of that category for you is relevant. What you can expect from RiseUp: we build strong, mutually respectful relationships with our clients, so we can kind of successfully work through 4 stages of employment together. And those stages are as you see there. So planning, preparing, job developing, and maintaining. Planning is, and this is a really important period, what we call assessment and discovery, right? Where this is where you're getting to know your vocational counselor, and they're also getting to know you, and you're building that trust, you're building that rapport. But it's also a place where we're trying to figure out, okay, so what are your goals? What are your strengths? Where are areas that you feel like you need a little additional support? What are things that have interested you, maybe not in the workforce up till now, but that you could potentially use or find in a job that you're looking for? And this is a place where sometimes we like to involve the support network as well, if that's something that you find valuable, right? Because sometimes the people around us have good insight for these things as well, right? Like, oh, well, I've seen, my son or daughter, I've seen my friend do this, and they're really proficient at this, they're really good at this. So maybe there's a way that this can be a part of their job search, or a part of their next future piece of work. And then this is as well where we focus on goal setting, and that's a really big part of the process as we go along. And it's something we return to a lot, because when you have these SMART goals, when you have these really specific goals that are relevant to you, it can help guide things every step of the way. So when we're doing some of these tasks, or when we're learning these particular skills, we know why we're doing it as part of the bigger picture, which is always super important, especially just for motivation and kind of keeping on the path that we want to be on. And then we kind of enter the preparation phase. So this is where those resume and cover letter pieces come in. There's a lot of difficulties when we haven't had a lot of experience in the work world, right? We're trying to create a resume, but we're like, well, I haven't had a job before, I haven't had volunteer experience, or I haven't had work experience. So we have to get creative, and our vocational counselors are really good at that, right? So it's pulling on the skills that you do have and the experiences you do have, and building some of those skills. So getting you involved with different work experience programs, or with different certifications, right? First aid, food safe, serving it right. Any of these kind of things that are going to act as an asset for you as you continue to make your way into the work world. And then things like interview practice as well, right? And there's that's a very small list of the potential things that we can do, but really, again, it's a very open-minded, flexible program. So anything that you think is going to kind of help you move forward in finding a job, we want to hear about, and if at all feasible, we want to kind of help facilitate. And then we have the job development phase, which is where we are making those community connections, where we're, whether it's applying in person or online, we're interviewing, we're following up. One of the great things about having our team and our vocational counselors who have been doing this for a little while now and who have created really great community connections is we already have, a list of different businesses and organizations where we've seen some of our clients really succeed and where we know the management is really open-minded and kind of a great asset to somebody who is new in the workforce. So not to say that those are the only avenues we'll explore. We're happy to kind of go any sort of direction that is going to make sense for you. But we also have some of these things that are already kind of built upon, so that can take away some of the pressure. And then once you do have a job, that maintenance piece, right? So that job coaching, that support, helping you communicate with your boss, some of those smaller things that we again don't really think about until we're on the job, right? So many different work sites have so many different protocols, they have so many different ways of doing things, and so helping you ask the right questions and helping you be an advocate for yourself and any of these things, and helping you with training and learning the role, and if you're having a little extra trouble with particular tasks, okay, becoming creative about it. How do I approach this now so that I can have the little extra supports in place that I might need. And again, that's an overview of the program, but really it can be so much more, and whatever it is that you need support with, we're very open-minded to trying and making that work. And if we can't, again, as having been around for a little while, we know so many of the other fantastic organizations and resources that exist in the South Vancouver Island area, and so we're always happy to kind of make referrals and help you put other things in place that are going to make it so you can focus on your job a little bit more. Pretty quick here, just a couple of frequently asked questions. Can you help me get experience in training? Yeah, I've kind of described that. The length of the program. So there's no set in stone length. For some people, it's a couple of months and it just kind of takes off and they're happy to run with it. For some people, it's a year plus. Again, as long as you're within that age range that I've talked about, and as long as you're willing to kind of continue to show up and put in the work on your end, we're really happy to try and see this out to any particular angle. So flexibility is kind of the name of the game. How involved are my parents and caregivers? Like I said, that's your choice. Any involvement that you want with your support network, we can kind of facilitate. And for some people, that's super useful. And for some people, they're like, I would rather this just be something I do completely independently. And that's totally okay as well. In terms of signing up and applying, we are completely self-referral. So you can do it. Your parent can help you with it. A teacher, a support worker, whoever. If you go to our website, which is riseupyouth.ca, it's pretty easy to access through to the application section, which you can do online, but as well, like Maya said, my email will go out a couple days after this, so you can just email me directly, and I can kind of walk you through the steps as well. But yeah, it's completely self-referral. And that application is a pretty simple process, just us trying to figure out a couple of these things that I've mentioned. So I will leave you more or less with just. Maybe I'll pull this up. This is just a list of different employers and areas where we have helped folks find work experience. And this is just a list that's kind of growing every day, right? There are so many creative organizations and businesses out there, so many new interesting places to build our work experience and really find ourselves in the working world. And whatever it is that you're interested in, we will do our best to try and facilitate it and make it happen with your work and effort as well. So yeah, if you do have any other questions, feel free to ask them at the end with the Q&A coming up in a little bit here, or feel free to email me or call me as well. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome, Marco. Thank you so much for your presentation. That was fantastic and excellent to be able to learn more about Thrive in your program. Well, we are on to our last presenter of the day. So Kyle, yeah, the floor is yours to speak to Camosun in any way that you might like.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to share my screen here as well. Everybody see that okay? Great. So thank you for the other presenters. Some great programs up there. I'm going to speak about our multi-industry trades exploration and employment program. We have many programs at Camosun, but I think this one is probably most relevant for this conversation. And we've currently got, we have 2 running right now. And we're taking an interest list for upcoming sessions. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's a 16-week program. We explore, so it's broken into essential skills development, similar, doing some self-exploration, some sort of identify where you're at. We want to meet each individual where they're at and try to build them up, figure out what sort of supports they need. Now, this is very focused on trades. So if there's some math or if there's some writing or something, we'll identify those and help them move forward with those. We have some great instructors here who really have worked in industry and really want to see folks move forward. So we also have certification programs within this course, occupational skills, and then there's a 4-week work experience attached to the program, and then a follow-up session. So it's open to, there is a bit of a criteria for the enrollment. It's an EI attachment type program or based on insurable earnings. This is on our website, so I won't leave it up here very long, but there's a couple of things. So explore your pathways. So numeracy, literature, workplace well-being. We're big on respect in the workplace and workplace violence and harassment. I've worked in industry for many years, and I've worked for a host of private industries, large companies, the government, schools, recently Skilled Trades BC for 10 years, and going door to door with small companies and really getting a feel of what's going on in the ground with work. We have zero tolerance for workplace harassment and bullying. We don't need that anymore. But where it really can change is with the youth today. And so we really try to advocate. We spend a lot of time talking about it. We do be more than a bystander and work with other organizations that try to break that down and take that with them and be the advocate and the ally in the workplace. So we spend quite a bit on that. We also do resume writing. Everybody loves doing resumes. Who are we? What do we do? How are we doing it? And boy, there's so many philosophies and thoughts on what should a resume look like, and you can go around in circles with that. But we really like to. We bring in folks from industry who receive resumes, and we bring in HR people, lead hands, directors, managers who do the hiring, and they give us some great tips. And there is no one magic resume. It's really the individual. So we can help with all of that. So some of the certificate programs: transport dangerous goods, fire watch, occupational first aid, women's fall protection. I just saw them doing that today. Students they had to build 3-story scaffolding, and then they're roped in and they're falling. So anyway, they're doing it safely and properly. So again, we have different areas that we bring in experts and trainers that come in and do certain training for us. And it's great doing it with a cohort. So you're going through with some like-minded folks, and you get to banter and work on some of these projects together in a team. Confined space is another one that I forgot to mention. And then there's 7 weeks of trades. So you're in the trade shops working with trade lead hands, working on projects, architectural trades, carpentry, and then there's also fine furniture and joinery. So you'll be exploring some of these. The idea is that you might have an idea of what you want to do or what trades are, and which is fantastic. But this is an opportunity for you to actually get your hands on a host of different trades. And, you know, there's many folks that discover and go a different direction later on. What we do at the beginning also, I should have mentioned that we work together to create an individualized training plan for yourself. And there's a questionnaire, and we do some self-reflection and talk. And, you know, sometimes you come in with an idea. So after going through this, we do some reflecting on the other end of the course, and many students go in a different direction. They thought they were going to be a carpenter, but then they discovered pipe trades or electrical. So it's quite interesting. But yeah, so a full week in each, and you end up making different projects. So it's quite involved. Like I said, there's a 4-week, 30, 40-hour work experience. We've got some fantastic flexible employers. We can do a two weeks at the same, you know, different trades. We've got students that are doing a week at pipe trades, a week in carpentry, a week in electrical, and a week somewhere else. So we're very flexible. We work with the students to make sure that work experience is a helpful component for them. We also go through some attendance and some class building exercises so that people feel confident and comfortable with learning together. And then got a clear schedule. We use a D2L platform. It's like a Moodle or an online training program, Desire to Learn, D2L. So it's one of the primary communications. So you'll receive emails if there's any changes or what the upcoming schedules are. There are some online training sessions that you'll be doing self-directed. That'll be hosted on the D2L platform. It's quite a robust system and fun to use. And then we also include wraparound supports. We have PPE. We go through extensively about what kind of boots you would want for different trades, types of pants, protection. We purchase all those. Those are all, we give you vouchers and you go find them yourself because we want you to try them on and fit them and make sure they fit you. Networking, special speakers, site tours. We hit the ground. We head out to different places and get a sense of what it is to look at a work site, be on the work site. We have mentoring. We also have all students who are registered as Camosun College students. They are entitled to the full student access. So there's full counseling, medical, dental. We've got a health and fitness center here, parking. We have the student UPass, which is the bus pass. So there's a bunch of other little things that go along with this. And I could leave my email, but I'm kind of been inundated, but we have a great team. So I would encourage you to use the TDSP at Camosun website or email, but you're welcome to email me with any questions. Absolutely. So mine's a little bit more brief maybe, but I just wanted to give you a snapshot of what the Mighty program is doing right now. And we have 2 cohorts actually on campus right now. And just some amazing folks that are really having a lot of aha moments, which is, you know, I love seeing that. So anyway, I'll leave it there and just say thank you very much.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Kyle. I'm just going to share one last thing here really quickly before we wrap up and go into our questions. So we've heard a lot about a bunch of different both educational and professional pathway development, but just to note another free resource that is specifically more for mental health support. YMind is offering a free 7-week program supporting people who are 18 to 30 who are experiencing mild to moderate anxiety or stress. And this essentially just offers an opportunity to connect with others locally who are experiencing similar things that you are. So if you are interested in this at all, in this free program, you can scan this QR code, which will take you to the website and learn a little bit more about the program. And I hope what we can see from this session is that there are so much supports that are available for youth in our community. Last but not least, in terms of just staying up to date with our events like these ones and future opportunities. So we will be sending out that follow-up email with contacts, but we have also recorded the session today. So if there's anything that you missed, you'd like to go back and review different presentation material, you absolutely can. If you scan this QR code that we have here on the left, that will take you to our YouTube page, and you're able to you'll be able to see in a couple of days the session that we had here today, as well as previous ones as well. Additionally, to stay up to date in terms of upcoming events, we're